Good afternoon, boys and girls. This is Kosala, also known as Marventus, bringing you yet another shoutcast from one of my own games. I'll have you know, my cough is getting a little bit better, and to make matters even more interesting, I have finally managed to equalize my goddamn score. In fact, I've even gone slightly ahead of my win-loss score ratio now. I've got one more win than I have losses. Huzzah is all I say. Huzzah. Now here we are in a sunny, wintry, muddy afternoon in the United Kingdom, and I'm bringing you another game that I recorded for such a long time ago that I simply can't for the life of me remember what the hell happens in here. So I imagine that I will be just as surprised as you. So let's get to it. In the bottom left hand corner we have the red Zerg, myself, Mr. Marventus. And in the top right hand corner, our opponent of the day, the teal Protoss, Mr. Darvider. Mr. Darth Vader. My goodness, if you add a T and H in there, it'll be Darth Vader, a Dutch version of Darth Vader. But let's call him Darv. Darv the teal Protoss. What is he up to? He is now at the 8 supply mark and he's putting down his forge and his pylon. A forge this early in the game. My goodness, could he be going for cannons? I think so. Over here in the bottom left hand corner we've got a slightly more standard sort of opening at 12 supply, putting down my spawning pool. Which should soon be followed up by a gas, I would imagine. Now, did I 7-pool rush in this or not? I mean a 7-roach rush. I don't think so, because the start looks a little bit odd for that. So let's see what happens here. My gas is still not there. There it is, at 15 supply, my gas going up. Overlord running over here in taking its time to do so. Yes, forge up and therefore cannon up. So he's cannon walling his front gate. This can never be a good thing. It means he'll bury himself somewhere in the back of the base and tech up to some obscene unit that's going to cause us a lot of problems. So now we need to find a way to bust our way through this in a really big hurry. But so far I haven't spotted it. I'm just about to spot it now. Let's pop into my view over here and see when I see it. Creeping up in Overlord's unupdated speed. Oh my goodness, that is one slow beast right there, boys and girls. Yes, here we are. Now I see it. Forge. I see the cannon. I see another cannon and I automatically smell trouble. Trouble brewing ahead here. But what's this? Now the first gateway goes up for our opponent, Mr. Darth. Right, and Overlord walks away with 24 hit points. He actually manages to survive to live another day. So how do I react to this? I do indeed have a Roach Warren going up, but I was clearly going for an early Roach Rush. Now that I've seen the cannon wall in, I'm going to need to think of something else to do. Because trying to rush that right now would probably be meaningless. Let's get back into everyone view and let's get a production tab up, since I seem to have forgotten to do that. His gateway about to be finished, my lair about to be just gotten started teching up. So now that I've seen this happening, I'm going to go for a heavy gas alternative and muta up and see what fun we can have with this. So where are we now? We are minute marker 4.5 in the game. My Overlord has gone off here to safe haven. Hopefully I will try to Nidus over here if he doesn't put up a pylon there to keep an eye on it, but you never know. I haven't been able to use the Nidus network a lot these days, I can tell you. At 16 supply, my hatchery going down here, since now there's no way to do a fast rush. As I was saying, Nidus. I haven't been able to use my favorite Nidus. The opponents I've been meeting lately have actually been pretty savvy early game and been walling off the sides, or not walling off, but keeping an eye on. Except for the game I just finished playing now, which I will cast later on the next couple of days, which was a kind of a noobish Terran. And I managed to Nidus the crap out of him. But in the meantime, up until then, I've actually had trouble using my Nidus network anywhere. So here we have my first expansion about to conclude itself. Where am I going with here now? Let me see. Where am I going? I would imagine I've got a metabolic boost on the way, but I imagine that I'm going to be taking up the Spire from this point onwards. Of course, I can't actually remember myself, since I don't remember exactly what I did in this game. Hatchery almost done. We haven't. I've started putting Overlords at the end of my bases when I'm up against Protoss, because you never know when somebody will try to sneak a pylon in here and try to do some sort of insane cannon rush like that dude did in a previous video of mine. And here we are, the Ghost Academy going up. Keep in mind that at this point I've got absolutely no idea. Sorry, this is a Dark Shrine, not a Ghost Academy. I have absolutely no idea that this is happening. So whenever I see this kind of cannon wall in the beginning, I'm thinking it's either going to be some sort of mass void ray thing, or it's going to be some sort of dark Templar thing, or high Templar thing. So here we have a dark shrine coming up, so clearly we're in for the latter. I have a couple of drones waking up here just now. There we go, back to work, I say. More work? Yes, more work. Right, how's my droning going? Look at that, I've got almost a full commands group worth of drones. I've gotten much better at this lately. Right, now let's see if I get any good at droning up the second one as well. Queen just popped out. We should have lava coming in there any second now. There it is, the injection. And what do we have here? We have Zerglings manning the Zelnaga towers, as indeed they should be doing. And here we've got one zealot that's parked himself in the corner there for some reason. Presumably try to expand in this area at some point at a later date. But then again, that is why we have captured this Zelnaga tower, to make sure that we are well aware of these kind of things when they happen. So let's see, back at the main Protoss base, he is not doing a good job droning up. He's still not even at 2 rows. Let's take a look at the economy, how are we doing there? He is woefully behind in the economy. Right, woefully behind, I say. Right, pretty much half of where I am. Right, so he's not doing well at all, because he's been spending all of his money on these incredibly gas-heavy buildings and well, no units so far, but the cannons. And there's another gateway going up now. There's 1, 2, 3 gateways, 1 Twilight Council, 1 Dark Shrine, and 1 Forge. And now the expansion goes down here for the Protoss as well. Now at this point, do I spy it? I do not. So I will not spy it until he puts something up here to wall off, which he presumably will do at some point. Let's wait and see when that is. In the meantime, he's got quite this massive wall off going on here. So at this point, it really is time for me to try to do another scout, if at all possible. We are now at the 9-minute marker, and I've got absolutely no idea what's heading my way. So I've got a few Mutalisks popping out just to make sure I keep an eye on what's going on. Now this is pretty good. I've got 6 Mutalisks coming out just under the 9.5-minute marker, and yet I did not compromise at all on my initial growth. Now this is why you should never leave a Zerg alone. You notice that this guy has not harassed me for a second. So while he's been busily being lazy there, I've been droning up here. I've got my 2 gases up but not mining for some odd reason, and fully droned up here. And I've got Mutalisks running around the map. So now he can't encroach into this area because I've got flyers and he hasn't. So now I've spied the expansion. The question is what to do. Answer is obvious. Let's take it down. Now the problem is, of course, he knows that I have mutas. But currently he's not responding with anything other than probes, which clearly are not a counter to mutas. A few Dark Templars are on their way out. Now no doubt these are going to be heading towards my base. But in the meantime, my mutas are wreaking havoc over here. You see, getting mutas out early, before your opponent has got air, is really utterly priceless. Because it's so hard to do anything about it, because they fly fast, they hit reasonably hard. I've got 6 more on the way, so we're about to have a fleet of 12 Mutalisks. I think I stopped those guys short over here actually until I take this down to make sure he doesn't know that I've actually got 12 mutas. Yes, indeed, they're hanging out over there. Now, presumably, those Dark Templars he just created over here should be headed over to my base, and I have currently got no detection at this point. And this is another great thing about being Zerg. You don't really need to build anything until you need to build something. So at this point, I'm completely clueless this is happening, and I'm droning and happily economy building away, which is going excellent. Gas is now starting to be saturated too. Got plenty of minerals, got plenty of gas. So now what do? I'm going to take all of my 12 Mutalisks and go harass around here, where there seems to be a shockingly small amount of base defenses of any kind, because he's been busily pummeling all of his available money into Dark Templars, which fascinatingly do absolutely nothing against Mutalisks. Absolutely nothing. There we go, the last assimilated down there. We're going to grab this little posse of mutas and head off into the enemy base and see what kind of fun we can have. Now, see the dark. Are they moving yet? No, still no dark. Oh, it's got warp gate technology as well. Now, finally, the Dark Templars are on the move. Here we go. Where are they going? At the same time, my mutas have hit his base and are now starting to take down his cannons and his mineral line. So this should make for fun in games. And now I see that my base is being attacked over here. When I pop down, I see absolutely nothing. So it's time for so I realize it's time to get out an overseer and get some roaches on the ground. And at this point, I haven't even started building yet. I'm leaving him to mess around with my first hatchery there, which I now realize I don't need anymore because I've got all the units I need to win this game. So I don't need to panic at all. Over here, I'm busily using the mutas to take down all the cannons and is now working on his main base. See, I still so far haven't started building any defense to the Dark Templars. I've got my second hatchery now going up here instead, since this one is about to be... oh, it has failed. And the Dark Templars are now in my base, messing with my main hatchery. Now, only now do I start creating 15 roaches, and I should be plopping out a couple... oh yeah, I got an overseer out, so I can see them now. So I actually lose my main hatchery there. I forgot that had happened. Right, which in this particular case makes no difference whatsoever, because I have won the base race. And I have my auxiliary hatch going up over here, so it's no problem for me. Right, my roaches popped and nuked his Dark Templars, and that was the end of that. All of my mining drones went off to my secondary base, and there's the GG, game being over. So that was that, boys and girls. Oh, it was a rather fast and speedy sort of game, having to do with popping out those mutas fast. A bit of mismanagement there, losing that hatchery, because I could have popped those roaches out whenever, really, the moment I saw the Dark Templars, but didn't actually do that. That was not so good. Right, but other than that, mutas really spectacularly rule if you get them out fast enough. Enjoy the viewing and have a lovely day. And if you like the video, remember to like and comment and whatnot else. They really help with the ratings. Until next time, folks. Ta-ta.